Have you ever noticed something strange? The smarter you become, the harder it becomes to talk to people. Not because you are arrogant, not because you think you're better, but because conversations that once felt normal now feel exhausting. You explain something carefully, slowly, respectfully, and yet the other person doesn't listen. They interrupt. They twist your words. They argue with confidence, not understanding. And later, when you're alone, you feel an unfamiliar weight in your chest. Not anger, not sadness, but a quiet question that keeps returning. How is it possible to be surrounded by so many people and still feel this alone? Arthur Schopenhauer understood this feeling deeply. He believed that intelligence is not a gift that makes life easier. It makes life heavier. Because once you see clearly, you can no longer unsee how shallow most thinking really is. Schopenhauer argued that most human beings do not truly think. They repeat. They react. They defend. Thinking requires effort. Thinking requires humility. Thinking requires the courage to say, I might be wrong. And that courage is rare. To Schopenhauer, stupidity was not a lack of information. It was a refusal to reason. A stupid person, in his eyes, is not someone who doesn't know facts. It is someone who cannot question their own beliefs. Someone who experiences disagreement as humiliation. Someone who confuses loudness with intelligence. Someone who values victory more than truth. This is why arguing with such people feels like talking to a wall. Because you are not exchanging ideas. You are threatening their identity. And identity, once threatened, will do anything to survive. Including lying. Including shouting. Including attacking you. Schopenhauer noticed something painful but precise. Intelligent people suffer more in social life. Why? Because intelligence brings awareness. You notice contradictions others ignore. You feel discomfort when logic collapses. You sense manipulation where others feel normal conversation. Meanwhile, the foolish feel comfortable. They are not disturbed by inconsistency. They are not bothered by falsehood. They are not haunted by unanswered questions. So when you speak carefully, they feel uneasy. When you explain clearly, they feel exposed. When you ask questions, they feel threatened. And instead of reflecting, they resist. This creates a tragic pattern. The intelligent person tries harder, explains more, clarifies again. And the foolish person becomes more defensive, more aggressive, more certain. Eventually, the intelligent person is blamed. You think too much. You're overcomplicating things. You just want to argue. Schopenhauer warned that this is the moment where most intelligent people make their biggest mistake. They assume others want truth as badly as they do. They don't. Most people are not driven by truth. They are driven by comfort. They want their beliefs confirmed, their emotions validated, their status protected. Truth, when it threatens these things, becomes the enemy. This is why Schopenhauer was ruthless in his advice. Never argue with fools. Not because you are superior, but because the structure of the interaction is broken. An argument requires two people who value truth more than ego. When that balance is missing, the argument becomes theater. Logic stops mattering. Evidence becomes irrelevant. Emotion takes control. A foolish person does not seek understanding. They seek domination. They will change the topic. They will twist meanings. They will attack your tone, your intention, your character. And when cornered, they will not surrender. They will escalate. Schopenhauer knew this well. He warned that when you argue with a fool, onlookers may not know who the fool is. Your calm reasoning is dragged into emotional chaos. Your dignity is put at risk. This is why silence is not weakness. Silence is intelligence protecting itself. Walking away is not losing. It is recognizing that some battles corrupt the one who fights them. Another uncomfortable truth Schopenhauer emphasized is this. You cannot save everyone. Some minds are closed not because they lack intelligence, but because they lack humility. A person who believes they already know everything experiences new ideas as insults. To them, learning feels like losing. So when you try to explain, they resist. When you offer perspective, they argue. When you share insight, they defend. You leave the conversation tired. They leave unchanged. Schopenhauer believed this is why wisdom must be selective. Not everyone deserves access to your thoughts. Your ideas are not free entertainment for people who mock thinking. Your explanations are not owed to those who refuse to listen. Instead of engaging, Schopenhauer recommended observation. Observe how foolish people speak in conclusions, not questions. Observe how they repeat phrases they didn't create. Observe how they cling to group opinions to avoid thinking alone. When you observe instead of engage, something powerful happens. You stop internalizing their reactions. You stop asking, what did I do wrong? You realize, this is not about me. It never was. It is about their fear of uncertainty. Schopenhauer also warned intelligent people about another trap: the desire to win. Winning an argument against a fool gives you nothing. No respect. No admiration. No peace. Even if you prove them wrong, they will not grow. They will resent you. So instead of domination, Schopenhauer advised distance. Reduce exposure. Limit interaction. Keep conversations shallow where depth is not welcome. This is not arrogance. It is self-respect. Just as you would not expose your body to poison, you should not expose your mind to constant irrationality. Mental boundaries are as important as physical ones. At the core of stupidity, Schopenhauer believed, lies fear. Fear of being wrong. Fear of losing status. Fear of appearing ignorant. That fear creates aggression. That aggression creates noise. That noise drowns out reason. Once you understand this, your anger dissolves. You stop expecting wisdom from insecurity. You stop hoping shallow minds will suddenly deepen. You stop drowning. According to Schopenhauer, the highest form of intelligence is not brilliance. It is restraint. The ability to remain calm when surrounded by stupidity. The ability to remain silent when provoked. The ability to walk away without needing the last word. Anyone can shout. Anyone can insult. Anyone can react. But not everyone can protect their peace. That is power. And finally, Schopenhauer left a quiet but devastating warning. If you constantly feel surrounded by stupidity, ask yourself, are you over-explaining? Over-arguing? Over-investing? Intelligence is lonely. But loneliness is far better than being mentally enslaved by people who refuse to think. In a world addicted to noise, choosing silence is rebellion. In a world obsessed with opinions, choosing thought is courage. And in a world full of stupidity, the intelligent do not fight. They withdraw. They observe. They rise. If this way of thinking resonated with you, subscribe to the channel. Because here, we don't waste energy arguing with the world. We understand it. And once you truly understand it, no one can control you again.